Keep on blindly doing what you have been doing. If you never question yourself or your behaviors, then there's nothing for you to answer to. Come on, wake up to yourself.
Just lead.
Giving someone negative feedback is actually quite difficult. It's a topic that I cover quite a bit on this channel. Because of this, people don't really give any negative feedback. They're quite happy just living with things as they are because it's easier. And when you don't get negative feedback, how are you going to improve as a leader if you don't know what you're doing wrong? You can sometimes stagnate at a quality of output that's actually quite poor. Given that people aren't likely to provide you feedback on your performance, where do you actually seek that opportunity to improve as a leader? Look within. Being a self-aware leader is a really important attribute to have. With self-awareness brings an ability to impact and change things about yourself that you need to change. You'll look at yourself and you'll reflect on your leadership, and you'll be able to work out what your strengths are and leverage those, and also work out what your weaknesses are and put strategies in place to improve on those. You'll learn more about yourself and what you are capable of. There are several things that you're going to have to put in place if you're going to go from being self-blind to self-aware. You cannot be self-aware if you can't be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, how can you truly change and develop? How can you take on criticism of yourself if you're not honest with your performance with yourself? You start by being critical of everything you say and do. And when you start being critical of yourself, you need to pull yourself up every time you start to blame someone else for a decision that perhaps didn't go as you intended. For example, I didn't really make the best decision today putting James into that project role, but he did say to me that he was capable and that he would do the job, so it's probably more on him. You need to stop with that. James is not at blame here. You need to own every single decision that you make, and you need to be critical of them. You should understand whether James is capable of that project role or not, or perhaps if he's capable of growing into that role when you put him in, because you're his leader. Even when decisions go well, you need to be critical and you need to be honest, and you need to ask yourself the question, how can I improve on that performance? Or what went really well in that situation, and what can I take from that to apply to other situations in my decision making and in my leadership? Dedicate some time to reflect on how you've been going. If you're not used to being self-aware, literally actually book daily time in your calendar to reflect on the day and the week and how things have gone. This isn't one of those things where you just book 15 minutes a week and then sometimes do it. You need to reflect every single day so that it becomes an automatic process in the way you behave and act. It needs to become as automatic as breathing. Some of the questions you might ask yourself when you're reflecting on your day is, how did people respond to the things that I've said? You think about the decisions that you make, what went well and what went poorly. How did people follow your directions? Could you get better at influencing others? Are you hitting your targets? And if not, is there something you need to put in place to ensure that you do start hitting them? If you practice these habits diligently, it will truly become second nature. I think about myself, I never ever book time for self-reflection, but I'm constantly going over things that have happened through the day and how I can improve and do better for next time. Take every opportunity to learn more about the world around you. Learn more about the specifics of your job. When you do so, you'll find more opportunities to improve than you otherwise would have. I always go back to the fact that we're a society built on stories. From the cave drawings through to the movies that we watch today, each story gives us an insight into how others act and behave. And this insight gives us an opportunity to react better each time when we're faced with certain scenarios. For example, if you learn more about what women have gone through and their struggles in the workforce in the past, it might help you react more appropriately when you're told that your company is going to be pursuing gender equality. This is that part of the video where you like and subscribe because you've liked what I've been doing and you want to see more. Well, there's enough of that. Let's get back to regular programming. When you are doing this for long enough, you'll stop finding opportunities in yourself to improve upon. And this is when you need to bring in reinforcements. You need to find someone that you work with that you trust and that you know is going to be totally honest with you. And you need to ask them for feedback on your performance and opportunities for you to improve. And you need to give them time to come up with some real feedback. Give them a week. After that week, sit down with them with an open mind, ready to engage. Listen to what they've got to say and then ask questions to engage further, to understand more of what they've got to say about you. But do not at any point provide excuses or reasons as to why you behaved in a certain way or did a certain thing. Just take the feedback on board. It's a really great opportunity for growth and you need to take it with both hands. Then you need to discuss with them a way forward. They might not have come up with ideas of things you could change and improve, but they're already a good sounding board in ideas that you might have. So talk to them about what you might need to change and what you might need to improve. When you criticize yourself, it is important to be constructive. Be brutally honest with yourself in your feedback for yourself, and then come up with ways to change and improve out of that feedback. Don't dwell on that feedback and get miserable about it and be down in the dumps about how you're doing things wrong. Change, grow, implement something and be a better leader for it. Be brutally honest with yourself and improve. If you can't change from your newfound self-awareness, then you might not be doing it right. Go back to some of those prior steps earlier in the video and then try again, because you can get this. There are some sure signs in your behavior that you are becoming more self-aware. You need to look out for these signals in yourself. Self-aware people typically listen to others more than they talk. They're always looking for that opportunity in what other people say and how they behave, and leverage off what others do in order to improve themselves. You will look for emotional blind spots in yourself. You are your experiences, but you can't experience other people's experiences. So in order to try and understand more, you will read and learn about other people's issues and other people's stories in order to be able to show more empathy and understand where other people are coming from. You're gonna ask for feedback more regularly, and you're gonna take that feedback on board because you understand that it's a good way to improve getting other people's feedback. Self-aware people really understand that others see things in you that you can't see in yourself. So they know they need to ask the question in order to get access to that information so that they can improve those things about themselves. You're going to reflect on your values. I'll use an extreme case to highlight what I'm talking about here. Say that leader A is a homophobe, but leader A is really self-aware. So what they're going to do is implement things to ensure they learn more about the world around them. In doing so, they start to understand that homosexual people are just like anyone else. And further to this, they start to understand some of the struggles the homosexual community have gone through and are going through still. Because of this, leader A does a complete backflip on their stance regarding homosexuals, and it's not uncommon to see something like that happen with leaders that are truly self-aware. Self-awareness is so critical to becoming a great leader. It's time for you to take those blinkers off, look around you, and get better at what you're doing. You need to understand yourself before you can build an effective team. To see what I mean, you need to click this link right here.